We will be there in 2 minutes. That's okay, we can jump it and come back.
Yeah.
This one down here.
And we're live. Hi. Can you see the screen? Yvette? Yeah, you can see
Yep.
the agenda. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, I can, Bridget.
okay, perfect.
Go for it, man.
Yeah, we are live.
We're live, okay. So I call the meeting to order at 8:06 a.m. Approval of the agenda. I would like to make some amendments. Can I go first? And if anyone else wants to make any changes, we'll talk about that. So item 11.3 is not a closed session. So we'll have discussion about associate member applicants, but it's not a closed session. Okay. Number 2 on my amendment notes would be to, just for the consistency of our minutes going forward, I'd like to pick up under business arising from minutes, 3 things that I failed to direct Bridget on that were recorded in our last minutes to be deferred to this meeting. We're probably going to defer them again, but one would be under 11.
This is 8, right?
8.1, 8.2, 8.3, I'm thinking, but I'm going to refer to our minutes.
But for the agenda, we're doing 8,
Just
business
8.
arising from the meetings.
Yeah, so I just want to add.
You're
some
adding
items.
items to
I'm
the agenda.
adding items,
Yeah,
which are likely, they were recorded in our last minutes to be deferred to this meeting,
okay.
and we're likely to defer them again, but I just want there to be consistency in our minutes. So they would be referring to our last minutes. Just put it. Okay, so we got website. No, that's
Number
not
10.
it. No. Sorry, BIA levy change, 11.3 in our last minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we had said that we would have further discussion next meeting. So that's 11.3 in the last minutes. So adding to business arising, and we can deal with what we want to do. The next one, on referring to our last minutes, 11.5, recruitment of new board members. Last meeting, we said we would discuss that at this meeting. And then again, I'm not sure why this one's even here, but 11.6 on minutes from last meeting, downtown parking. Says that we will defer that to next meeting.
I don't think we deferred that to next.
I don't think we did it
I thought we
either.
decided that
Yeah,
that it was
be a council thing.
okay, so then we'll deal with that as an amendment to the minutes then.
okay.
Okay, so that doesn't go on business arising, so we just have 2 items.
What about under marketing? We're discussing the next subcommittee of marketing.
Well, we do, under,
Okay.
so under item 10 of our agenda, we do have budget review. If you want to add that to the agenda as a 10.4 or a 10 point,
Not really, it's the formation of a subcommittee to do marketing.
yeah, we still don't have a committee.
Right,
So
so. it should
So if
get
you
along.
want to discuss, it wasn't noted in our minutes before, from last meeting that we were going to defer that topic to this meeting. However, we are discussing marketing in this meeting. And if you want to specifically add that to the agenda, no problem.
I think you wanted to decide, I think you wanted, where you're coming from is, we agreed we would do a subcommittee, form a subcommittee. So I think Deputy Mayor Huntley was probably saying, let's have a conversation about who that committee, who's on that committee. Is that right?
Absolutely. I have no problem.
So it doesn't just kind of get left. Is
Yeah.
that where you're
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
from? Yeah,
It's dangling right now.
yeah.
Right,
yeah.
so I have a note to discuss that under marketing, but maybe it should be a 10.4 specifically. Is that what you want to do?
I believe that's
Yeah.
where you're going.
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting as well.
See, guest.
Go for it again, Rich.
So,
We'll see.
so adding
Oh, you know
to,
it already?
adding to the agenda is 10.4, formation of marketing committee. Any other?
So I have a note, and Bridget, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I had a note about 9.1 about the Lions Club car show. A check of $223.29 was to be paid to Old Autos Publication Inc., but I believe we have to amend
We
that
have to do that in our minutes.
because it was paid directly to the
Correct.
Lions
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah, so but when we get to approval of the minutes, we'll deal with that one.
Okay.
Okay. At this point, is there any other amendments that we want to make to our agenda today?
I just have, well, we have the one receipt from decorating committee that needs to be submitted, and I have one receipt from Brad for printing that wasn't on. That wasn't part of it.
Okay, so
Under
do
the
you
financials.
want to add an item under the treasurer's report?
Yeah.
9.112. In fact, I think probably that would be to deal with all of your check requisitions, not just that one,
So you're adding check requisitions to the,
Yes,
to the agenda.
yeah.
is that something, because they won't get printed?
No,
Until
no,
the next, is that something you could put as part of your next treasurer's report?
no,
Because it probably won't.
we could submit them and still get the checks instead of having everybody wait for a month.
Right.
I guess, don't know, right?
But it's just part of the treasurer's report. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we
But-
have, did I miss it? Do we have a treasurer's report?
well, my concern, we have what was published as the treasurer's report is our ledger. But
That's not a treasurer's report.
it's not, in my opinion, it's not.
What?
The ledger that went out as part of the agenda is not a treasurer's report, in my opinion. So we don't actually have a written treasurer's report that we can approve. And so I think it is important that if you've got something that outlines all our check requisitions, that we can, I know you've already submitted them,
Mhm.
but we need to have them in our minutes.
Okay, but that's what I thought. I sent that to you though. Because you told me to send everything to you and you would send everything to Bridget as
But
opposed to all of
they're,
us.
but they need to be itemized in a way that Sarah can put them in the minutes, as
Oh.
opposed to just the check requisitions. So just like the payee and the.
Okay, so what I sent you though, because didn't I sent you, right? I sent you,
I got what you sent to Carly.
So are there checks to be paid this month?
Yes,
Because I know I have one for the decorating committee.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, everything else though, we're picking up today. Everything else I've already submitted to be.
I know,
Yeah,
but
They still have to be, they still have to be registered.
they have to
Yeah.
be in our minutes. So our treasurer's report needs to look like they could actually be in the agenda. But
It should be in the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
so
I think the issue is that the treasurer's report wasn't part of the published agenda package, is that?
Correct.
So when you get to the treasurer's report, you're probably gonna have to itemize them
Yes.
in order to capture them in the minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I sent them to Kathy, because Kathy,
Can you send it to me right now? What you?
yeah, I
Because I
sent
didn't get an itemized list that was recordable for public purpose.
So this is, like, I sent you this, which was my report done up. And then I sent
Yes,
you all,
I have that.
okay, so that, I sent you that one.
Okay, so, and you sent it to Bridget as well.
No, you told me to send everything to you and you would send everything to Bridget, because you didn't want all these different emails after you had, that was what you told me, so I sent it to you and to Corey.
Okay, so,
And it has my ladies' night financials, has like everything I submitted to Corey for the checks that were written up today. I had all the.
this,
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the
Okay.
one that I sent you on August 3rd.
okay, I thought that went to Bridget as well.
No, because you specifically said to me, just instead of Bridget getting everything, just to send it to you and you would put everything together for our minutes.
Report.
So I think in the interest of moving things along, I think probably if it hasn't been
So-
part of the published agenda, then you just need to itemize what your checks are.
Okay,
Okay, so I could hand this, we can amend this.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about right here.
mhm,
Okay. So going forward.
I think maybe this is a discussion you could probably have at your treasurer's report. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
Get to
okay.
that part.
So-
Yeah,
So this will be our treasurer's report to be attached to the minutes, and we're going to add one item to it. Is that?
yeah, I just got to add Brad's, and then we have another receipt coming in, and I have my ladies' night financials as well. That was part of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So do we need to add an item to the agenda under the treasurer's report?
No, it's all part of the treasurer's.
Okay,
yeah. You just have to make sure that when you get to the
Yeah,
treasurer's report.
I get it. Yeah,
You itemize every check, rather than saying receive and pay the checks as per the treasurer's report, because
right,
that hasn't been part of your published agenda.
right.
So you would just need to itemize every check so that Kimberly and finance can see that you've approved payment.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna hand this printed copy to you, Sherry, and you can add what you need to add there.
So,
And then I can hand it to Sarah
okay.
after we finish so she can record all of that. And how she goes about recording it is up to her, I guess.
It's all good.
All right. All right, now, any other proposed amendments to the agenda? All right. Do we have any disclosure of pecuniary interest?
So you have to make a motion to approve. the
Oh,
agenda
yes, I'm
as-
sorry.
As amended.
May I have a motion, please? To approve the agenda as amended, then Sherry and was it Timmy? Sherry and Timmy. Thank you. Now, do we have any disclosure of pecuniary interest? None. We have no closed session. We have no delegations or presentations. And now comes the time to amend the minutes. So Sarah, do you want to first? raise
Yeah,
the-
it's 9.1. And at the last meeting, we agreed, we moved that a check of $223.29 would be paid to Old Autos Application Inc. And I understand that a check of, and I'm not sure.
Was
Sherry,
it that same amount, but they made it payable
the
directly to
Lions
the
Club,
Lions
so we
Club?
just need to amend it. So that we're okay with it being paid to the Lions Club instead of Old Autos Publication Inc.
Right, and then I'm not certain about this, but does the GL line change as a result?
No,
No,
no, because if it was part of your car show expenses or car show, car show
Yeah.
expenses, then it would go to that GL.
okay,
Yeah,
so it's in the ledger, it's reported as advertising, I think.
What?
Okay. Advertising,
Right, under car show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what it went toward.
Yeah,
But in a roundabout way. I think that there was original discussions about we pay directly for the advertising as opposed to a check to the Lions Club, because the check to the Lions Club might look like a donation. But,
it ended up,
right,
either way, it got paid, so.
it got paid, the check's been issued, and the Lions Club has it, so. So we have that, change to the minutes. The other change that I would like to see is regarding the report to the car show, just a date change. It says July 16th, should have been July 8th. That's when our downtown car show was. So on page 5 of the minutes. Moved by Ryan Huntley, seconded by Timmy Brady,
Yeah.
that the report on the upcoming car show scheduled for July 8th. Yeah. There was another one on the 15th, but that was the Kawartha Downs one. This is the one that we were. Okay, small detail.
We should fix the parking.
Yeah,
Okay, and this is, I don't know if I should raise this at this point in time, but just to mention, Sherry, we did have a motion to pay $200 to community care for the golf tournament, but I don't see that on the treasurer's report.
Did I get something? We were supposed to get something, right, from them? I don't remember getting an email, so we.
Good point.
I'm looking through my emails and I don't recall getting anything that I could have something to submit. And I thought that's what you had reached out and asked her, Erin.
Yeah, I did.
If we could,
And she said she'd do it, and I don't think she has.
yeah, and with ladies' night, it just wasn't something that was foremost on my mind. So if we
Right.
can, I'll follow up with her. I'll make a note
Right,
to follow up and get something that I can.
but I think it should still be on our report.
Okay.
Or, like, maybe you don't give her the check until she gives you an invoice for it.
Yeah,
But if we don't have a specific payment on our
Yes.
minutes,
Yeah.
then we've got an auditing problem.
mhm.
Okay, so I'm not asking to amend the minutes. It's just I made a note on here so that you wouldn't miss it. Okay,
so I'm not amending the minutes.
You don't
correct?
have to
That will
amend-
come under the treasurer's report. I think.
right, I'm just
Yeah.
flagging it because the treasurer's report needs to,
Yeah, okay.
And when is that tournament? Kathy, do you know offhand?
it's in September.
Okay,
So if we don't get the check,
Yeah,
It should-
Karen sent me the bill anyway for mine,
okay,
the request.
do you have a bill? Not yet,
for Moody's.
from
though.
Karen?
For Moody's though. Yeah, but
Yeah.
not for here, for Moody's,
Not
yeah,
from here. from
for
here.
Moody's, yeah.
Okay. Right. Can we have a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting as amended? Sarah, yes, and
Okay.
Ryan. right, now we're at business arising from the minutes. So the first item is, I think, to talk about, what did we say? Which item did you put on there first? The recruitment of new board members?
No, levy change.
Levy change, okay. So the levy change, I think that I need to have a meeting with Yvette before we address that, so I'd like to defer it to next meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I believe that this is something that we have to take before the members.
Yeah,
So I want to understand thoroughly what that looks like before we take to the members.
yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Won't you, I guess, that you'd have to work with Kimberly as well, right, to start generating what this change effect will look like.
I will start with Yvette.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. So we,
And through you, Madam Chair, I think what we'll do is we'll arrange a meeting and I'll bring in the appropriate people for that discussion.
perfect. And then the next item would be the recruitment of board members. So we've been unsuccessful so far. And I have noted in the our bylaw, I believe it's our bylaw, or maybe it's the it's more likely the handbook, that if we are vacant, we have a vacancy, council can appoint somebody, and it need not be a member. However, I wouldn't like to proceed that way. So I think we should just keep trying. And I think we, at the very least, we need a complement of 6. And that is actually in our bylaw, that we should have 6. They're an original bylaw, and then it was increased to 10. So, I mean, it's not vital that we get these people immediately, but I think for now we defer to next meeting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what you defer.
We're
I think it's an open item, right? Like we will.
On every agenda.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be an agenda item. It's, we all know that we need to go and try to recruit somebody.
But at some point, if we can't, then we're going to ask council to appoint somebody.
So through your chair,
No.
No?
Cool.
through your chair, just for clarification, just looking at the the bylaw, it does say specifically that the board shall consist of 6 members appointed by council, 1 of whom shall be a member of council, and the remaining members shall be persons assessed for business assessment in respect of land in the area or nominees of corporations so assessed. So I think you have to be in the BIA area. So I don't know what it says in the handbook. I would have to look at that, but
I have.
And do you know where you found that?
How much time did?
So maybe just defer it. Yeah, sorry, guys.
I would like to defer it, because ideally we want to, we have new members constantly coming in. And so I mean, I'm not giving up on recruiting somebody.
So my question is, should it be an agenda item, or should we know we recruit new, and then when we have a new board member who is interested in joining, we make it an agenda item then?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we can record that in the minutes then?
but it's not gonna be an agenda item.
No. That we've discussed it. We
Okay.
still have been unable to recruit anybody.
Discussed it.
And I
work
don't
on
think it's
building.
I don't think it's something that we're motioning. We're just,
Yeah,
we've discussed it.
to be brought back when a board member is interested.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't need to motion anything under business arising under from the minutes. I don't think. Okay, reports. So start,
Wait, do we not have 10.4? Or are we? I had add to the agenda 10.4 formation of a marketing committee. Or are
but
we dealing with that somewhere?
we're
else?
on number 9 now, which is reports.
Okay. Right, I got you.
So Sherry, you're up. And if you could read out the payments to be made
Okay.
and then hand your piece of paper to Sarah.
All right, okay, so for ladies' night vendors, we had $1,800. Sponsors, $1,100. And then I got the wine sale money in, we're talking about July, like what happened in July. And then I got the cash for the wine sales in for July. So our checks that we requisitioned were for the Millbrook Times for advertising for $226. That is going under our ladies' night advertising expense, as well as reusable shopping bags that I got, $585.79, of which our sponsor money went towards that. It was Meredith that gave us $550 for those bags.
Yeah.
And then Kawartha Now advertised $621.50. $150 BIA bucks to come from the sponsors. I had $51.98 from Dollarama for supplies. Brown's Farm, we gave out flowers for ladies' night. We had 200 flowers. So it was 150. Printing from Staples for ladies' night was $12.27. And I just wanted to add Millbrook PC because he just sent the invoice to me yesterday for $56.50. This is the only one that doesn't have a check for it. I will be putting that in the check requisition. We've had BIA bucks redeemed, 2 at Pastry Peddler and 1 at the Joneses for BIA bucks. So they are in fact being.
Yeah, but we just ignore it and it goes away. Sorry. And you're adding the decorating committee?
Yeah,
as
and the
well?
decorating committee, Ryan, how much was that?
78.
And that's being paid to who? Is it
Susan Rice.
Susan Rice?
72.
$72.90. So that would just be the amendments on to that report. Thank you.
Were those all check requests? Like,
Yeah, I had already submitted those check requests in last week. The checks are ready, other than the 2 that we just put in today.
And how about the community care one?
Oh, the community care, yeah, I put that down on there and I'll reach out to Karen regarding to try to get something as a receipt that I can submit that in as well.
Okay. So there, that's on Sarah's,
Yeah, I wrote it down on the
Okay.
bottom, yeah.
All right. On the decorating committee situation, it appears that we may have made a motion earlier in the year to move over the rollover into the decorating committee GL. And it hasn't been done yet. Now, I don't know that we need to motion on that. I think it's just something that we get finance to do so that our ledger doesn't show that that the decorating committee is running in the red.
So, sorry, through your chair, you're moving money from one account to another? Is that essentially what you're trying to do?
Yes,
Yeah, so you'd need a motion for that, because Kimberly would.
we
want-
believe that we already made the motion earlier in the year. But if we can't verify that now, then I'm suggesting we make another motion.
I think we need to verify we made it. No, we made it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but maybe
Yeah.
it's not recorded in the minutes and therefore it didn't happen on the ledger.
Yeah, it's showing on our, on the, account 0147509088, the rollover decorating committee 3600. It's sitting in that account right now on our, as per what we have from township,
from finance.
yeah, from finance.
So it is showing in the proper account.
It's showing, it's, yeah, and the decorating, so the decorating committee, what we want to do, they've got 3,400 in that account. The summer planters was 2,000. So we've spent 2,029, and then the decorating committee was 3,400, and they've spent $3,322. But I don't know, like, where that, like, that 36 is showing at the top, but
But the 36 should have been added to the 34,
Right,
and the planters should come out of that.
Mhm,
So right now, the planters came out of their normal operating budget, not the roll.
mhm. So you're moving money from one account to
we're moving
another.
the rollover to the 36 into the 34.
So you just need a motion,
But we did do the motion.
but you don't know for sure whether you did or not.
99.9% sure we made the motion.
Okay, we can confirm with finance. Through you, Chair, I think there are some reconciliation concerns. So I think
Absolutely,
it,
yeah.
and I think it, truthfully, I think it is just a timing issue.
yeah.
So I think when finance gets the statements from the bank,
Oh,
I
and
think what
sent that-
you're doing is you're doing kind of a real time
Yeah.
update.
yeah,
And I think they're kind of going from your report, but when they get the statement, sometimes there's transactions that are in the next statement.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
They
So-
can't reconcile it.
yeah. So what I did was I literally downloaded May, June, and July from the bank into an Excel
Yeah, that's-
spreadsheet. I went through literally every single one and put the ledger number and where it would belong to, and I sent that to them yesterday.
Perfect,
So all that for the last 3 months, they know exactly what $60 goes with what event, what
Awesome.
sponsors go. And so I just downloaded into Excel spread, put in the.
Yeah, so when I talked to
ledgers.
finance yesterday, they had suggested that, so that's awesome. That you've
Oh,
already done.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
what I did.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So they now have that in their, yeah, they got that last.
Yeah,
night.
so I think then going forward, your GL that we print, that like the GL that it'll be more up to date with
Yeah.
what you're reporting, right? Minus, plus or minus any timing issues.
Yeah, some of it was, yeah, when I was putting in some checks, I couldn't put in the $25,000 check because I'd already exceeded the limit on a couple other checks that I put in, and
Yeah,
so it had to wait until like another business day, which was the next month, and
so, and
like
I
that,
think
yeah.
that's a good example. So that was captured on your June treasurer's
Yes.
report, I believe.
but it didn't get put in until
But
July.
it didn't get put in until after the
Yeah.
June, so it was showing as part of your adopted treasurer's report.
I understand.
But it didn't actually show in the statement for May, right?
Right.
So that was where so then we've got a treasurer's report and a
Yes.
statement that don't balance.
Right.
So this is what I sent them. So I just download it. That's what I downloaded from the bank.
Yeah.
And then I just went in and put our general ledger. Some of them I just wasn't sure where it needed to go. So I let them know that I highlighted that. So I did it for all the months there. You can see June, July, and then
Yeah.
August, because we have a
In the
sponsorship
meantime,
come in.
just for
So I
the
wanted to
minute
let them know.
I will go back
you
and
know,
find
that
out,
was
so
where
I
it went.
believe it was March or April, like we did it right early
Yeah,
in the year. I think it was the April one, but I'll go back and find it and just add it into the minutes under the treasurer's report for this. That the motion was made on April, whatever, or whatever it was that day.
okay. Because we're gonna get to a decorating committee report where they need to know how much money
Okay, so do we want to add that though, this to the treasurer's report?
No, I don't think because it's an issue, there's no issue with the treasurer's report, which has been handed to you. It's the ledger
Okay,
that isn't up to date at this point in time, and therefore we don't know.
so we don't need to add anything then? is what
I
you're
don't
saying.
think so. The only concern is whether we have it in a previous minutes.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
did.
I am too.
Yeah. It was April.
Yeah, and I think so in your next meeting, it will show. Like
Yeah.
it will show in your GL.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else on treasurer's report, Sherry? Does anyone have any questions on?
Any questions? I think I'm finally getting like somewhat, I think once we can get everything up to date in kind of more of a real time than kind of being a month or a couple months behind, it'll be a little bit easier. And the one thing too that happened was they changed their bookkeeping or their software.
Yeah,
They
so
went
you just have to be a little
through-
patient with us.
Yeah.
Because we are changing over from Keystone to Diamond, so we are kind of doing this as a gradual shift, so we're.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's gonna be hiccups and.
Yeah, so there's like two different reports, like, because one's from the old system and then there's still, I think everything might be merged now based on like the last email they sent me, but it's just a matter of like, going through, and now everything's printed off like this. I'm getting that and it doesn't break it down into this.
So I did identify that. I
Yeah.
had just kind of said that the transaction detail would be helpful because then we can actually see what.
Yeah, when I opened this up, I just went through because these are geared
Yeah.
like 3730. So on my Excel spreadsheet, I just kind of put like, this is ladies' night, this is summer, this is,
Yeah.
so I know, because I'm not always familiar with.
Yeah,
where
I
they
think
go, but
usually
yeah.
it's kind of just a raw data
Yeah,
dump. We do have to get the May, June and July statements reconciled.
Yeah.
So you can work with finance to do that,
Yeah.
just so that going forward in September, we can have a little bit more of a accurate.
yes, for sure.
GL.
Okay, so can we move on to BIA bucks?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, no,
So
can we?
you
motion-
still have to, adopt your.
Yeah, let's have a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Sure.
Timmy. And Sarah.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Just through you, Chair, just sort of clear, the treasurer's report should be part of the agenda going forward.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Horribly uncomfortable accepting a report I haven't actually seen.
yeah. And I sent it to Kathy, as I said, because you were going to, put it through.
Make sure we're all clear that it needs to be in the agenda.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we now? The treasurer's report?
Well, I think you still have to motion to receive the treasurer's report and pay invoices as.
Oh, yeah, pay this,
Listed.
other two invoices.
That's one motion. So if you could just extend. That was the intent of the motion that we just passed. Accept and pay.
Okay, so you already made that motion?
We did.
Okay, sorry, my apologies.
BIA bucks, Jerry?
Okay, yeah, so BIA bucks are, people are starting to use them. I think I'd like to, just send out some information to all our, I reached out to I've talked to most of them because I went like basically store to store and talked to everybody about what they are and what they do. And I've had 3 of them turned in so far. We gave out more we gave out some for summer, some at the car show. And, you know, so I think it's more just making people aware of what they can do and how they can use them. So I
Right.
think we'll start doing some more, you know, on that and just making more people aware of what they are. Again, if we got, you know, again, we talked about incorporating getting the decals to put on the windows and stuff like that, which I think would be really helpful as well.
Yeah, do we have a 1 page to go in, something to the businesses?
Yeah, I'll do up something that we can, I've already,
Because some of us aren't always there. and-
yeah. So if we get it, we can maybe do it hand in hand, if we can get those decals and then send out like a little
Well,
information package
we-
or.
I'm not sure if we have budget for the decals, so that will come up when we're discussing marketing.
Okay,
One question I do have about, and it's going back to the ledger, I don't see anything in our ledger for BIA bucks, so.
I've asked finance, I've put it out to them to add another ledger line in there. So
Mhm.
it'll come out of like sponsorship and go into like a BIA and then, you know, from there it'll come
So
out.
that you've asked them to set up a BIA
Yes,
box.
yes, I have, yes,
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay,
have. asked
so-
them that. Yeah,
So as of next meeting, our ledger will
yeah,
reflect that.
yeah, hopefully, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll reach out
yeah.
to them again, but yeah, so I know I reached out to Corey and about it
Okay.
and so, and
Okay.
Kimberly,
Okay,
so.
okay.
So with respect to the decals that we did have a quote for them before, but I don't think we can put the decals in. Maybe I'm wrong, but we can't charge that to the BI bucks. GL line, we have to
No, it would be
take it
under
out,
marketing.
it'd be under marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I think we need a motion, please, to accept the report on BIA bucks.
Can I motion it? I don't know, I did the report.
Okay, I'll motion it. Do we have a seconder? All in favor?
Yeah,
To accept, okay. Now, that brings us to marketing. And we need to do a budget review. According to the ledger, it looks like we have $831.40 remaining in budget. Does that ring true, Sherry, or is it just there's updates that?
no, I don't think, yeah, I'm just trying to get as much paperwork in front of me. Yeah, I don't think that there should be, again, I'm not sure how updated that is. I'm hoping that now that I've put everything in and sent it to them last night, so we're both on the same page. I'm just not sure how, like, if this has everything in here.
It wouldn't have,
No.
if you've sent it to them last night.
So I have marketing, our budget for marketing was $2,000. When I'm looking at marketing and promotional cost here, 4750-3150.
Okay.
So you gotta, there's marketing for each event, and then we
Yeah.
have an overall marketing budget. So our marketing budget right now, we have $1,521.73 in.
Where's that number?
When I look at the printout that they gave me, 4750-3150 marketing and promotion costs, 2,000 was our budget,
Yeah,
and we've used 478.27.
I've got 1168.60.
I got that number.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So you got my number or Sherry's number?
Your number.
And therefore what's left is $831.40.
okay, all right.
In any case, I don't think that's enough to cover printed directories. You know, we have a business directory from the past that needs to be updated. Maybe we don't want to continue with those. But if we do, I think it's going to be at least $500 to to print those.
Yeah,
And also, there's been a request from one member that we have bookmarks a bookmark style postcard, if you know what
yeah.
I mean,
to show
That-
all our events.
to show our events.
Yeah,
Yes,
and that would be something that we would do like at the beginning of next year, when we have our dates early in the year, and then as opposed to printing off postcards for every event, just have one that has everything on it for the year.
but we don't need to specify an exact date. We can just say what our events are. It's a marketing piece and designate the month. So if we intend to go forward with the events that we've had this year,
Yeah,
we can just, put starting with a calendar year, we can say in June, in fact, we can put the fishing derby on there if we want to, because it is something that happens downtown. We can put the Lions Car Show there if we wanted to. We could say Zucchini Festival, all of these things they're not necessarily our events, but they're things that happen
oh,
downtown
no, yeah, for sure,
that
yeah,
promote Millbrook.
yeah,
And so there's no reason why we couldn't do it now and if an event gets canceled due to unforeseen circumstances, then so be it. But that happens all the time and everywhere.
yeah,
But it's something that is promotional. And anyway, if we want to do that, we haven't done anything in print this year so far, and I think we should. I wonder if we can move some money from someplace where we're not using it
That's
and
about
put it
to
into
finish.
marketing.
yeah,
So one place where I see we haven't used up our budget is, and again, maybe I'm wrong because this isn't entirely up to date here, is the seminars and conferences. So it shows that we had a $3,000 budget for that.
yeah,
And we only used half of it.
yeah, we definitely need to get money into marketing, when we're looking at putting like all that money into decorating, and which is great, makes our downtown look great, but marketing is more like a long-term thing that we need to invest in.
If we're not intending to use the balance of the seminars and conferences budget, can we move that into marketing?
Through your chair, I think we need to have an accurate budget before we move anything anywhere. Right, because we moved that $3,000 into seminars and training at the beginning of the year as a motion for Sherry to go to the conference. Now we're talking about moving money into marketing, when I think I heard you say that you did marketing for the car or for the ladies' night, where there was an advertising budget that was nowhere near $600. So
My
But anyway,
ladies' night
but I think we
covered, we actually have excess after ladies' night as well.
not according to this ledger, but if so, we just need to get all this stuff up to date so we know the real numbers of real people. Because we can't just move money between ledger items in our budget when we don't know what they really are.
I agree. But we're almost, if we don't have sufficient funds to do any marketing, then how do we,
Well, we have 831.43 in there, right?
maybe not.
Oh, well then,
And that's part of the problem. We don't even know that number for real.
Yeah,
You have to know what these numbers are.
okay. So really, we cannot do a budget review on marketing until next meeting.
until we know the budget.
You need a budget.
Yeah.
Budget.
Yeah.
That'll be straightened out with the information that Sherry has sent on,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I've literally put every single item that's come in and out of our bank account from May 1st till August, and ledger, like, put the numbers in and sent it to them and said, like, if I haven't gotten the right ledger, can you let me know and why? Because I want to make sure I'm putting things when I'm doing my reports that they're if they take them and like, oh no, that shouldn't be there, and they put it somewhere else, that's why my numbers are matching up.
So, and I think the challenge is that, I think as I said before, you've got an approved treasurer's report. So for example, I think it was your May treasurer's report. You had a vendor amount of $720. When the bank statement came in, there was actually 1,080.
Yeah.
So finance can't reconcile that
Mhm.
until they can explain what the difference is, right? So that's, these things are kind of
Yeah,
holding you up and being captured on the GL because they're not reconciled.
yes,
So we have to sort that out, because there's also questions about June and July. And
Yeah.
it's just, I think it is a timing issue.
Mhm.
I don't, I think
Okay.
everything is being captured, but it's just, there've been outstanding items in terms of, finance has said, okay, well, this doesn't match what the adopted report is.
Yeah.
So we have to match it. to
I
what's in the
understand.
account.
so it
So,
makes it easier now
So-
that I have access to the bank.
yeah,
Because
so I
before it was,
think going forward, finance's suggestion was exactly what Sherry had said, was that if you include an up-to-date statement from your account online,
Yeah.
because we don't have access to that,
Yeah.
only you have access to that. We just get the printed statement that comes in.
Yeah.
So if you have something that's accurate and you attach that to your treasurer's report and you adopt that, that's easier for them, because then they can go through and say, okay, well, this isn't captured on this statement because it's going to be in the next statement.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier for that.
I would like to make a motion to defer the budget review for marketing, item 10.1 to our next meeting.
Search that.
So going forward, what should Sherry's timeline be for her to submit things to finance so that we have the most accurate report for our meetings?
So I think what you're supposed to do right now is, if you want checks coming as part of your.
We put them in the
you put them in
Wednesday before.
before,
But
Right,
see, that doesn't always coincide with like the end of the month, because if our
Yeah.
first meeting of a Thursday falls on the first of the month, then like, for me to get those, I'm gonna always be a week behind from the month reporting to what. Yeah.
so what we get as a statement is we get from, I think it's like first of the month to the end of the month, but we don't actually get it till the middle of the following month.
Yeah.
Right? So if Sherry's able to attach a real-time statement from the bank, then we're able to see, okay, this is a transaction that didn't get captured on the printed statement, but it is going to be in the next printed statement.
Yeah.
So I think the timing issue can probably be resolved if you do that,
Yeah.
right? I think you're always going to have a little bit of a timing
Oh, there's
issue
always
just
gonna be a
because
little
of
bit, yeah.
when
Mhm.
we get the statement and we try and reconcile it to
Yeah.
the report you present.
Mhm.
Kind of.
So it's just a matter of just, moving forward, and now I think this is the best way to submit it to finance, is like when I can download this report and give it to them, so they know exactly where.
Yeah, she may want just an actual printed statement from the, like, not a downloaded report. She
Yeah.
may want it. Oh, I can check with
I
her.
can't download the statements though, because the statements get mailed out. Because they get mailed out, I can't actually
Waiting
download
for a
the
second.
statement, I can only download it like this.
Okay, so we didn't all in favor because there was a question.
Yeah.
Can we all in favor now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
10.2 promotional items. I don't think there's any point discussing that until we know we've already talked about it in the past. But there's no point talking about it if we don't know if we've got money for it.
Right.
So deferring that item as well, I'll make a motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Rosie in favor?
Timmy, we're deferring promotional items 10.2 to next meeting.
Sounds good.
Okay. And 10.3 is you.
sorry. I still can't get on there. I talked to Christine as well.
And I have, because the problem was Christine and was still on it. So through emails,
Are
she
you the
had-
one that was reaching out to her? You
Yes.
didn't know who it was.
she was talking to, for somebody who didn't know who it was, she gave me the password really quick to get on there.
I know after the fact, she's like, oh, maybe it's a scammer.
No, because
Like-
I'm like, okay, so it's saying that, so once I was, so you can do different things on here than you can on the phone. It's a different type, it's the same, but it's more
Okay,
open.
so you and I can talk after.
Yeah, and we can get that,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
So
fine.
I had to go through and have Christine real time and me real time to get things like switched off.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I
'cause
think I've
can't
gotten it to that
access
point
anything.
now. So yeah, so you and I now can get together and.
Okay, we
get
can
this.
discuss that
Yeah.
after, yeah. And then I'll get on
That's
that.
that's your report?
Yeah, that's my report. I still can't do anything.
I will make a motion to accept Timmy's report regarding social media accounts. Second.
Oh, no second, sorry.
All in favor? Okay. So item 10.4, formation of marketing committee. So I am hoping that once we reinstate our associate membership program, that we can recruit some, if we can't get regular BIA members, maybe we can get some associate members. We do need a marketing head on this committee, which ideally would be Timmy, but I'm not sure if she would be willing to.
I can do that.
Okay. Well, therefore, I'm going to make a motion to nominate Timmy as the marketing head within this committee.
I think you have to have a committee, respectfully through your chair. I think you have to have a committee first and then you appoint your head. So I think,
Yeah, establish, Bridget, you're right, establish the committee first.
Yeah.
And then appoint a chair of the committee.
yeah,
So how do we go about forming the committee?
So through you, Chair, just want to maybe correct one of the things you said is anybody can be on the marketing committee. They don't have to be a BI member or not, much like the decorating committee. A lot of ladies on the decorating committee have nothing to do with
But-
BI.
But obviously, the associate members are going to be more interested in doing that than just
Anybody could, whether they're. associate member or not.
anybody, right, I understand. But a regular citizen is going to be less vested than somebody who's an associate member. So
Unless they're a marketing person and want to do it for fun.
Yeah.
do you know anyone
So
like that?
can I throw that out on social media then?
Absolutely.
Okay,
If you're looking for,
Let's do that.
if you're looking for members to join the marketing committee to help with BI.
I think you just need to
Just for the minutes,
represent.
have we established the marketing?
Apparently not. And so the question now is how do we do that? And an answer is, well, let's just throw it out on social media.
Well, do we need people to establish the committee?
Mhm. We physically need people to have a committee, and then Timmy would be the head of, like, she'd kind of be the liaison with it. Right?
So
Is that,
through your chair, can I just make a suggestion? Is that maybe resolve your associate membership policy, and if it gets adopted, maybe defer this to another meeting, and then you could reach out to your associate members. If that gets adopted by this committee today, you can reach out to your members and see if anybody's interested. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah, but
So right through you, Chair, I still don't see the connection between associate members and marketing committee.
associate members are interested in marketing.
Then they can be a marketing. They don't, like, whether they're an associate member or not, be part of that committee.
They're going to be more interested than somebody who
But,
is
so,
not in a
meetings
business,
may on.
so
right?
through you, I think what we're trying to accomplish here is a marketing committee. How do we get a marketing? What do we need to do that? Whether, to me, it's not tied to associate numbers. It's tied to, how do we just recruit people who want to be, help with marketing?
So Timmy has offered to,
Oh, I see a hand way up over there. We might bail us out of this
all
one.
right,
Through you, Madam Chair, the first thing you need to do is to have a motion to establish the committee. Then you have a motion to represent a board member to go on that committee. And if that's the person that you want to be as chair of the committee, that's your discussion there. Then you can market that committee, once you've established the committee, to anyone.
I understand. So did I understand you to say, Yvette, that we need to establish somebody on this board?
I think
So
first we need a motion
yeah,
to
so you-
establish a committee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
establish a committee, assign a board member to the committee.
Okay.
Correct.
so-
We don't need to care about the chair of that committee, because that committee will take care of itself.
you can
Okay,
do it through the committee can do it, or you can abort. It really doesn't matter, but you first I need to establish the committee, have a motion to establish a marketing committee, which is a subcommittee to your board.
yes,
Okay. And
And
then
then-
you need to do that first.
okay, and then,
I will make the motion to establish a subcommittee, in the name of marketing.
A
will-
marketing subcommittee.
Marketing
Okay.
subcommittee.
okay, so that's the end of that motion. Now, the second part of your suggestion was to assign the tour.
I nominate Tim to be the board's representative on the
Board
marketing.
representative. Yeah.
Not the chair of the committee, but the board representative. It's just semantics there that we're dealing with. That's what I was trying to do in the first place, but I used the wrong word.
That's okay. So,
Okay.
so you need a motion to,
Ryan made that motion and I will second that motion. And we already have Timmy's okay on that.
so that's passed, correct?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Now we can move on to general business, which is 11.1 decorating committee update. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. First of all, the decorating committee would really wants to extend their gratitude to the Parks and Rec staff for the help they did with the shed in the yard and kind of seal that up and take care of all the problems it was facing. So huge thanks to Chris and his team. Second part was obviously the expense that's already been over to the treasurer. And the third part is the decorating committee is looking for some more funds that are not budgeted in order to secure decorations, things for the new bridge planters. So they're asking for about $700 in order to do permanent, not permanent, sorry, but like physical decorations that go in those planters that can be reused year over year, because they don't, that's how they do the winter ones. So they didn't actually have them budgeted for this year because it seemed to be a bit of confusion on whether those bridge planters were actually going to be established this year. So their request is for $700. I'm a little leery of whether their budget is in good enough shape that we know, but I think this would come straight out of reserves, because the numbers that they have, they seem to have accounted for, and this is over and above what they would have expected this year. So the request is, can we move an additional $700 out of reserves into the decorating committee budget in order to establish winter seasonal decorations for the bridge planters?
Are we allowed to do that?
We did it for the 3,000 earlier in the year. For the bridge planters.
36, but it was,
Yeah.
that was established by the former board.
Right.
Yeah,
We can pull from reserves.
So-
We did it for the seminar. The question is, do we want to? It's not budgeted this year, so it's over and above, which is, you know, fine. It's an expense that's not, but we need to know about or anticipate.
Yeah, they ended up having like when they actually did like the planters for the bridge, that went over a little bit, the dirt and everything. By the time they got all that filled, I think it went over. But like that 3,600 though, that we just said, isn't that gonna be part of the decorating?
Yeah, but we're not up to date on that.
Oh,
So until, we really don't know how much money they have left in their budget.
They seem to know how much money they have left in their budget.
Yes,
And it's earmarked for upcoming changes of those planters. So this is truly above and beyond.
this is beyond their budget that they know they have.
And it's a one-time purchase,
So it would be coming out of
reserves.
which on our,
You don't have reserves on it.
right, we don't. What do we have in reserves?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I'm not, I know it's physically in our bank account,
Yeah,
you know, and we had our 25
there's another 25,000 there.
from
Yeah.
Cortha that we
Yeah.
had put in this year over the last couple months, that we haven't delegated any of that
So
to.
we have lots of money in reserves.
Yeah, yeah.
I would be in favor of it.
I'm in
They're
favor of
one
it
our
too.
Best promotional.
Absolutely, I'm in favor of it. I just want to make sure that we're doing everything according to FOIL. And that when we come to make this motion, we know how to phrase the motion
I made the
financially.
motion.
Okay, do you need to?
Take
quote
$700 out of
GL?
reserves for the decorating committee's winter seasonal decoration planters of the bridge.
And we put the GL line on there.
And so the GL, it goes into the GL line for the decorating committee operating. I can give you the GL line if you want.
Sure.
Okay, I gotta pay attention closely and,
If it's gonna come out of our sponsorship, that's where that 25,000, it's reserved. See, I don't have anything on for reserves. That's my 25 is showing under sponsorships.
is that a sponsorship or is that a donation to?
Well, it goes under sponsorship fund, like that's where they put it in.
Okay,
Like that's where the finance department put it in.
do we
I think
think,
your reserve, technically, I don't know if it's considered a reserve. I think what is in your bank account.
Yeah, we don't
Yes.
have an actual reserve account. Like I'm not seeing any account that says like reserved or surplus or anything.
No,
right?
I think
Yeah.
it's actually, it's what's in your bank account, which, and you can pull from that
Mhm,
and pull it into your,
yeah,
like,
so. We want to know, so the decorating committee line is 0147503224.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's where it's going into. Don't ask me where it's coming out of, but it's in the bank account
yeah.
and it's $700.
Okay.
Okay.
Secondary.
I will, okay,
Sure.
sure it is.
Okay.
Anything else from the decorating committee?
That was it for the decorating committee.
So a motion please to accept I think in addition to that motion we just made, we need another motion to accept the report of the decorating committee.
To me and me.
Barry and Timmy. Okay. Now, associate membership policy. So I think it's been circulated.
I apologize, I have to go.
We have this the final version of the policy, which has been circulated and is part of our agenda package. Has everyone read it?
Mhm.
Would anyone like to make a motion to accept this policy?
Can we have a discussion about it first?
We can have discussion, yes.
This is a long
We should
meeting.
have discussion if there's to be discussion, yes.
Having read the policy, fine with it. My problem with it is the criteria for acceptance. I think we should just strike it from the policy.
But isn't that what this went through for the last few months, was the criteria to, like, that was a big piece of it, was it not? Going back and forth?
My problem with it is we start to get into things like, is your business offering something that it was lacking in our community? Like, who makes
Right.
these decisions?
No, that's fair, but if we don't have criteria, does everyone get in that's in our catchment area?
It doesn't even have to be our catchment.
We don't have a catch.
Right.
Yeah.
So does everyone get in that
So-
wants to be an associate member?
Well, it just comes back to the board, and the board decides whether they're in or not. Like, if these.
But based on what?
But we can't base it on, but are we gonna sit through each one of these criteria and go yes or no?
No, I understand what you're
Right.
saying, and I agree with you in part, but I don't think it can come back to the board, and the board can say yes or no based on nothing. Because then you leave it open for an associate member to say, what was your decision based on?
And you go back and say, well, we don't.
What's your criteria? What's
Your
your,
business is lacking. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm a new pizza shop, I can say, well, we already have a pizza shop, so we're not lacking one. That's why I chose not to accept. Like, these are emotional decisions.
those that, right, and they always will be, right, which is
Right.
the problem I had in the first place, is it's tough to, but I think not having criteria is tough too. I mean, you're open to legal action, I suppose, either way. Right, why did you base your decision? Was it on things like emotional issues, which can be often construed as discriminatory and.
Exactly, like, consider the successful nature of your business,
Right.
like, what does that mean? And that's where I'm stuck, like,
Okay,
I'm stuck on having the criteria in the policy. Like, to me, it should just come down to a simple word of accepted by the board. And without any of that criteria.
So the first two items, the type of product service being offered, is it something currently lacking in the community? You would strike that. Second one, potential economic impact of local community, i.e. job creation and potential to support other vendors. Would you strike that one? You would.
I mean, what if you were sole proprietor and you're never in?
A BIA management board may attend the business to determine suitability. Would you take that?
Sure, that's criteria. And what are they gonna determine?
This is under determining membership. Well, if we are making a decision, then maybe we need to go and have a look at the business.
I don't think we need to say that, I suppose, is what,
Yeah.
and go take a look at the business, and if we ever say no. I
Yeah.
think we need to really have our ducks in a row, because I think
Okay.
that leaves us open to a lot of issues.
I don't
Okay.
disagree with you, I don't agree with those criteria.
You don't want to, yeah, okay, so consideration may be given to successful nature of business, you strike that. Consideration may be given to whether or not the business applying contributes or complements the strategic endeavors of the BIA.
What are our strategic endeavors? Like, how do you measure this stuff?
Right, yeah, we pulled these from the unwritten
I
policy of the prior board.
Yeah.
get it, but I think you should just take them all out and leave it with, the board's decision.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm perfectly okay with that, these were the
How about-
criteria was what caused me the most grief.
How about,
Like, they're discriminatory. Or could be construed as such.
we should have one thing under here, determining membership. So
I think
how
we could
about,
leave the first sentence. And evaluate the business.
Yeah.
We'll look at the business in question, evaluate it. I mean, I don't anticipate we'll say no very often, to be perfectly honest.
I agree. How about the one that says the BIA management board will assess the suitability of business applying for associate membership fairly and non-judgmentally?
Well, I
Take
don't
that
know,
one
that's
out
true.
All right,
That's the closest one I can live with.
okay,
I don't know, like, that's hard to, who judges that, I guess would be my question, right?
All
Who
right.
judges whether we're fair
okay,
or
so
not?
that one goes. Conflicts of interest will be declared prior to discussions regarding.
I think that one should stay,
Okay,
I think that one's overall governing anyway.
yeah.
so do we need to have it then?
Well, I mean, it'd be good for board members to remember that they have to declare a COI, and maybe it can be announced whenever we bring up, maybe Madam Chair, you can announce it whenever an associate membership application is brought up, you know, if there are any
So leave
conflicts.
that one, and how about we leave the last one as well? Applications for associate membership will be reviewed and brought to the BIA Management Board as a whole at the next regular meeting.
Yeah, I think that's the one I want.
Okay, so these last two
Mhm.
can remain. I have no problem with striking the rest of it,
Yeah, fine with that.
but we have to have something. And remember that these are guiding principles. It's not policy exactly. It's,
Well, and many BIAs are struggling with this is what I
Yes.
found.
absolutely, yeah,
They're all struggling with how do they put that into words.
okay. And there have been many other amendments.
And we
Yeah,
can
so
relook
there-
at this. I'm aware that the OBIA is trying to formulate a policy on this very issue as well.
Mhm.
So we can always revisit it if they come out with something.
Absolutely, we can change this from time to time as needed,
Mhm.
but we need to get something passed so we can. Right now, our ledger is showing that we're to receive, I think it's $1,600 in associate membership fees, which we don't have because we can't bill people because we don't have a.
Right.
Right,
Hmm.
okay. So, is there any other discussion? Does anyone have any other concerns with the policy as written? If we take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
And leave the last two.
and leave the last two.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yvette, any comments?
No, like this is a board decision. So, I mean, you're having these conversations. They're good conversations. I think the amended policy, what you've got right now is much better. So you just need a motion to adopt your amended policy as you've just discussed. So with those items being removed.
Okay, so that's the one piece. The other piece is the graphic piece, which doesn't address any of these determining membership points. It only says that the Board of Management reviews applications and reserves the right to decline any application. The only thing it says.
Maybe that's the word you drop into the policy.
Mhm.
Like that's
Keep it
the-
simple. Keep
Yeah.
it simple.
So are we therefore suggesting under Sarah's piece that instead of it saying the BIA Management Board will look at the business in question to evaluate the business with respect to, take that out?
I think you just, whatever's on this, which you just read, I think is fine for that.
Sure. Did we want to keep the last two though?
Yeah,
Or are we just reiterating the last two? Or the last one? I mean, obviously
Next regular meeting and the COIs. The COIs we don't need to have there as long as the chair remembers to bring them up at the discussion for each
right.
associate membership application, right?
Through your chair, would that be part of your claiming a pecuniary interest with an item on the agenda? So if you're reviewing an application, I guess it's not a pecuniary
No.
interest because it's not financial. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it would have to be brought, it could be anything, you could work for an
Yeah,
associate
yeah.
member.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of we take out the whole section on determining membership and move the one line under please note,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you put the one liner, it might already be there. It is there. Words are, but the last paragraph under please note
Mhm.
is a reiteration of what's in this piece here. It says the
Right.
current BI or BIA Board of Management
Yeah.
uses so,
Exactly.
So I could put, that will be done at the next regular meeting, I can put that right under there.
the last two items that were under as the guiding, sorry, the
Determine membership.
determining memberships, just drop them under please note.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's much,
So we
Simpler.
no longer have determining membership.
yeah,
Okay, so, where's the first page of this? It's about, some membership.
the rest of it's fine, it just reflects what's in your file,
Right,
and that's fine.
okay, so I don't think the flyer as last amended was on the agenda package, but we actually did some deletions and correction fonts so that it's more legible. Does anyone want to have a look at it or?
you know, looked at it.
We're sick of looking at it. Okay. All right, so we're adopting this as is.
You're adopting your policy.
We're
I don't think we
adopting,
need to adopt, I don't think we
Flyer.
should
Because
vote for a
this-
flyer, right?
Yeah.
no, we're just adopting the policy as amended,
That's right.
which includes this. It's not a flyer per se, it's part of, it's a representation of our policy.
Right,
Yeah,
I don't think you need this at all. Like,
No.
Don't complicate it with this.
Yeah.
Just adopt that.
we're just calling it the policy,
motion to adopt associate membership policy as amended,
correct?
that's what I have.
All right,
I will make a motion.
I will second. Okay, now moving on to,
All in favor?
oh yeah, all in favor, please, thank you. Now, associate member applicants, we have two. And has everybody seen them? Shall I bring them out and read them?
I don't think they would have been circulated as part of the open package agenda.
Code antiques. and
Well, they
art.
have been to our board, but not as part of the package, correct? Because we didn't anticipate it being publicly, that the applications would be part of the public package.
Correct.
Okay, but I have circulated amongst the board. Does everyone acknowledge that they received the applications?
Yeah,
And I can read them out or not? Or does everyone want?
So I'm looking at the attachment you just sent, but Twin Pines isn't, they're completely off.
No, they're done.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
so I was just looking at the attachment that you.
So
sent
that
us.
was, they have withdrawn their application.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was,
Because it wasn't dealt with.
So through the chair, I just have one
The-
question. Sorry about it, is when the applications do come in, they should be part of the agenda package, which is fine. The only thing is with the application information, the only thing I would take out of it or redact would be like a personal cell phone or a personal email. We don't want personal information coming in.
Any personal information, yeah.
But if it's all business information, it's clean and it's fine. Right, so business address, business contacts, business emails, that sort of stuff is all fine. But once you get into personal emails, personal cell phones, things like that, you should either redact them or not collect them as part of the application.
How do you feel about their comments?
what we should do on the application form is also state that whatever they put there will become public record.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you-
Or at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah,
Sorry, Yvette, but we can't see your hand.
oh, sorry. I guess there's a couple things. One is, I think there's a process that should be followed, right? So one is your policy should be adopted first. And then your application process should be reviewed and et cetera. But I think what I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong, your application has actually been, you've already had associate members and your application has already been on the website. So therefore, then you're getting applicants that have already submitted, but you're only adopting the policy today as well. So I think the whole concern about your application is to ensure, and that's where I was talking about closed session, personal or proprietary information. But if it's all open, it's business, your application states just business information, it's a public, maybe a disclaimer at the bottom. And I think that's what Ryan and I were talking about, that states that this information will be received publicly at a board meeting, just so everyone knows. Then you wouldn't have someone putting maybe a personal cell number or something like that. So I think the process just, is a little bit off. So we just want to correct that a little bit. So you've adopted your policy now, but I understand that you've also received applicants that have submitted because the application was already on the website, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And there is a section of the application that asks the applicant to provide a brief description of the business and products and services. And then there's another one that asks the applicant to describe what their expectations are for joining the Millbrook BIA. So the applicants have provided details, and in the cases of these two applicants, there's nothing there that would cause anybody any concern. But I think for the purposes of today, if I can read this out, and then we can vote as to whether or not to accept these applicants. And then going forward, we're going to revisit what the application looks like and then the disclaimer on there.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Cove Antiques and Art. The contact name is Jody Bryden. She has a business at Cabin Corners, I'll call it. It's 893 Highway 7A. And she has been operating that business. There was a previous business there. She's been operating it since she purchased, I think it was about 2 years ago. And she has been in both of our events. Sherry, is that correct?
Well, she applied, she wasn't able to attend ladies night due to
Conflict.
conflict
Okay,
with
yeah.
her family, but yes, she has, yeah,
Okay.
she's usually at all our events.
Okay, and she says that her store runs out of a nicely furnished barn and is made up of coves, that's in quotation, selling antiques, used books, art, and decor. I have my own areas, coves, and we also have a variety of vendors who have their own coves with various vintage antique collector and decor items. I also have an art studio where I teach oil painting to adults as well as youth, and I host paint nights. What are your expectations? This is the question to her. She answers, I would love to be connected with other small businesses in the area to support each other, run events together, and learn from one another, all with the goal to make Cavan, Monaghan, and Millbrook areas something special for the community and those who want to visit. I did visit her business, and I personally in favor of accepting this applicant, and I will make a motion.
I'll second it. Yes, sorry. Yeah, she's waited a long time. She's excited about it, so.
All in favor? Okay. Now, second applicant is the Kawartha Credit Union. And they have offices both in Keene and in Peterborough. And the person who reached out to me is Alana Hillian. And I believe they are interested in being in the fall event. And the brief description of the business and products that the services for the credit union provides is it's a full financial institution with personal accounts, mortgages, loans, lines of credit, investing, financial planning, estate planning, cash services, online banking, call center, ATMs, commercial accounts, commercial lending, and investments. What are your expectations? To answer that question, Kawartha Credit Union is very interested in the communities they serve, and one of our core values is to give back to our communities. We feel that we would be of great benefit to your members, both the real estate holders and the tenants of those buildings, as they are businesses being run in your beautiful downtown. Not only just the members of BIA, but also your residents. As a full financial institution, we offer to both commercial and retail members. Being part of a credit union, we understand what it is to be a member and part of the bigger picture. So Alana Hillian is the branch manager of both Peterborough and Keene.
Now, are they, is this something that they could be looking at? If we ever got a place for them to open up, like on top of the hill or something, would they consider opening up like a branch or?
I don't know that it matters for an associate member.
Oh, no, I was just wondering if they were actually looking at maybe in the future doing something like that. It's just a question.
They had.
That's, can I just stop you guys just for a second? That's not a part of the application. That's not a discussion that you
Oh,
should
no,
get
it
into.
wasn't part of the decision. I was just asking like a general question if they had mentioned.
There's no opportunities for
Okay.
that.
All right, okay,
Okay.
yeah, no, I think
So,
they'd be
and
great
it's-
definitely to have them on our,
Yeah.
as an associate member.
Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion, sorry, yes.
Seconder,
I will say.
all in favor? Okay. Now, I don't think we need to make any motions for reports. I think that concludes that part of our agenda, and now we're moving on to events. So,
Madam Chair, I have a
Yeah,
question, sorry. Did you have I couldn't hear correctly, but do you have a motion to amend or review the application for associate membership? Did you
we did.
receive?
Yeah.
Receive a motion for that? Okay,
No, we
thank you.
didn't.
We did.
The application?
I thought we did.
No,
You and I did it.
the application itself?
Oh, the application, not
Yeah.
the policy. we're
Right.
Speaking of,
Yeah. So we did not have a motion to amend the application,
well,
if we even want to amend it.
well, at this point, we don't know
We
how
want to
we're
put the
exactly,
disclaimer on,
yes.
so we do want to amend
You
it.
just want to amend the application to not disclose any personal information, make sure the applicant is aware that their document will become public.
Yep. So what we.
I believe Ryan just made that motion
I'll first,
and Sherry seconded.
second, sorry.
Now, how we execute that is another question, but because the application is online,
It's there. It's
Yeah.
It's not like you're inventing.
yeah.
Make it go.
I'm sorry about, you're correct. I was thinking we were talking about the policy. All right, item 11.4.1, Fall Festival Budget Review. Can we do it?
I think we're getting there, but I also, the other thing that wasn't on here was ladies' night. Wasn't on the agenda as well, so.
So do we have any idea how much money might be left?
Well, according to, I know what we spent on summer. I'm still trying to figure out to get where, so it was 13,912, but what I didn't have down before today, and I'm hoping that now they've got all the breakdown that I've sent them, we can actually get the breakdown of where everything should go. So I know that there was 13,912, and we need to take, after our income, we had $5,047 that has to come out of that 13,000. So that's minus the income we brought in, our expenses, and that was our surplus from that. So we're looking at the 13,912 minus the 5,007, if that's what I understand is where our budget for the two of them were. That was the number Ryan gave to me that I wrote down the last time. I just don't have all the actual breakdown of where, like, all the individual ones, but that's where we're looking at there. So we're at what, like about 8,800 for Fall Festival. Like, just to have a number that we have.
So
Sorry.
through you, Chair, just as a suggestion, perhaps maybe you might want to add a full report on your ladies' night to your next meeting, just because you haven't had anything circulated as part of your public agenda. So perhaps maybe as a suggestion, you might just have all of this. That could be like a full financial report.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But there is also too from ladies' night a surplus that we could use towards our other events. So just like, I will put a full report in, but essentially we had a $1,650 budget. I brought in 1,100 from sponsors, 1,860 from vendors. So that gave us 4,610 to work with. My expenses, my contracted services, that was the DJ, the stage, and the musician was 1,641. Advertising was 1,433 out of that, and then other expenses was 520. It's given our total expenses is 3,595, so we actually have a surplus of $1,014. So I only used like 500 from our budget. The sponsors and the vendors that I brought in covered everything, but yeah. So yeah, minus our expenses was, so we have a surplus of 1,014 from ladies' night. That could be used, I think, towards our other events, since it's our surplus from ladies' night anyways. And we still have our fall and Christmas, right? So that could get put over to there.
But we're not in a position to make a motion to move money right now because we don't have a.
Yeah, but I know ladies' night is covered, and I know we have, you know, that we have our budget for fall, so.
I think we just need it like a. Sorry.
Ballpark.
Not even ballpark, like, we need to know what the numbers are, like you rambled off a few, and you did for the summer one before. But we need to know how that compares to what was actually budgeted.
Well, that's what my biggest thing was, I've never seen anything, like when I go back on everything that I've been given from, you know, from finance and trying to find out where it's broken down. Like we got in, you know, I'm not in
And I sent you an email yesterday.
an annual
Broke
budget.
it down. So you can compare it back to what was the original budget.
Again, I think
I mean-
it's not part of your public agenda, so
Yeah.
maybe you should bring that forward as part of the next agenda.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're talking in circles here.
Yeah,
So.
May I make a suggestion, Madam Chair?
Yeah,
When it comes to your treasurer report right now, I think everything regarding budget should be just, you know, deferred until you have a complete report that outlines everything, including your events. And I would suggest possibly, just like we're going to meet with regards to proposed levy changes, maybe we should have a meeting with the finance department and your treasurer and possibly yourself, just to go over everything to make sure the processes are being followed.
Okay.
Maybe
yeah.
we could be of assistance, because I think you're talking about the same issues over and over again, and they're unclear.
Yeah.
I don't think you should get into anything regarding finances at this time until you have a better understanding of what your finances are and a full public report is presented.
Okay, yeah.
So in order for Sherry to go forward with the planning of the fall festival, which she needs to do now, and I believe you already would have some applications.
Yeah, I do. I have some applications that have already come in.
Yeah,
Because I didn't want that and, just getting everything in line for it because
So-
people wanna like.
Sure, sure. Is there a fall festival planning committee? Has that been struck?
It'll be, well, I just got over ladies night, so
Yeah.
I did get I started getting everybody bring their applications in though, at least to get the vendors on the go.
the application is online.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
And I've
people have applied to
attracted
it.
people to it, so.
Yeah,
So you can go forward with your planning, without a budget. You'll know before the next meeting.
yeah.
You know what you're working with in terms of expenses?
Yeah, basically, I would like to do like the karaoke again, because people really like that, and it did get cut short. It wasn't like, we were singing and dancing in the rain, but we did have to pack it up eventually, so. And make it more like a harvest festival. I really want to bring in like more, make it really geared to October, like, and fest, like, fall festival,
So-
fall harvest.
Cutting to the chase, we don't have budget, likely we do not have budget for alcohol.
No, we're not, I don't know, alcohol it's more just getting vendors and making it like a fall harvest festival is kind of.
So we don't need to pay for a license for alcohol
No.
or community.
No.
Well, I know what this
An event
is.
meeting is.
Yeah, it's an event meeting, and so that maybe doesn't happen here. It would happen at your event meeting,
Mhm.
and but maybe,
But I don't know if we would even have enough time if we decided to do like alcohol at our next meeting to get that license in place.
That's a conversation for the
Yeah.
event committee though.
Yeah, okay,
Right, like how they want that event to be organized and run and what they want at that event. So, and I'm sorry, Madam Chair, but isn't the first step to establish an event committee, like to publicize it and ask whoever wants to join the planning committee to join?
yeah, it would probably, I know Stacy can't, because she's got 3 weddings that day. But I know that probably some of the other ladies that helped me for the ladies' night would help with the fall event as well.
So just publicizing something so whoever wants to join can.
Yeah.
so on social media.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And these people that come forward need not be members, true or
Right.
false?
True.
They're likely to be,
Yeah,
and hopefully we get some associate members that would like to be involved as well.
yeah.
And so, and state a date when you're going to have your meeting.
Mhm.
And by that time, have a handle on what's in the budget.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think as soon as finance gets my last email and gets it sorted out, we'll have an up-to-date. That should be happening like by next week anyways, like 5 days it usually takes them to work on anything I send, right? So,
Yeah, I think there's still some outstanding, but yeah, we can try and get that resolved.
yeah, so,
You're talking about forming through your chair, you're talking about forming a committee. I think you kind of already have like a quasi, who is yourself,
yeah,
Timmy and
yeah, Maddie. from
Maddie
Spark, yeah.
and.
Stacy can't,
And Stacy.
yeah, only because like she can probably help with some things, but not on that day. She's
So I
got
think
3
your
weddings
committee kind of varies depending
Yeah.
on who's available.
on that, yeah, so
I
it'll
don't think
be
you have
per
a
event,
formal committee,
Yeah.
it's just.
Yeah, it'll
who's
be-
available.
who's available on that, for that, yeah.
And who wants to be part of which event?
Yeah, and yeah,
Right.
who wants to be part of it, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right. Lots of people
Right.
wanna do the fall or the Christmas and not
Yeah,
And
summer, late.
respectfully for your September event, you, like, the planning needs to happen now. I
Yes,
understand the whole
yeah.
budget situation. I think you can't rely on associate members because you don't know who they are, you
No.
don't know what their availability is.
I
I think
understand.
what you have a quasi committee, but if there's anybody else on
Oh,
this
yeah, for
committee that
sure.
wants to participate, that would be
Yeah.
great.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the ladies night, it was great, like we all worked together, everybody
Yeah.
just got,
Yeah.
we had our meetings and,
You
yeah.
did get the lion's share of the work on that though, so.
I just think we have to be open and publish it on our social media, so
Yes.
anyone that wants to join has the ability.
Yeah,
Yeah. And specifically invite associate members because they are going to be vested in it.
yeah.
Take it back, has a comment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yvette?
Did
Hello?
Sorry,
did you have a comment? Sorry, I
No.
thought you were trying, oh, okay, never mind.
Okay,
oh,
Carry
no,
on.
sorry, no.
you're just waving a fly away. Yeah.
Is she on holidays?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we have some sort of a report, or
Yeah.
I don't know if we do or not. Maybe
So
we just
the
have some.
planning is in the works, the
Okay.
committee is in the works. I'll have a better idea once finance gets back to me with an updated on everything, and then by our next meeting.
So you're going to call a meeting
Yeah.
and you're going to publish
Mhm.
an invitation to a first meeting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get that on the go.
Okay, and so we're not motioning for anything, we're not even accepting, we're just making some notations under that item?
That's what I've done.
Okay. Does that seem right to everyone?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to Christmas in the Village. So that's another event. We've set out a date for it. I think we can all discuss it. I assume that Sherry is taking command of that as well.
And it'll be, again, whoever wants to, ladies, like I said, everybody just kind of came together and, who wanted to work on it, we all worked on it, anybody who fall, Christmas, but we'll start getting, at least we have a little bit more time in between.
So maybe this is my suggestion is when you call this meeting and you publicize the invitation for the fall festival, do both events at the same time to start establishing who wants to be on what.
Yeah,
And then, because it's not too early to start planning
Oh, I
Christmas
know,
in the
yeah.
village.
I'm hoping next year in January, we're already, these events are well underway before the actual event day and not, everything being just trying to do everything in a couple months, because that's the time frame we've been on just
Yeah.
due to our changes, right? So April, we were like June, and then we no sooner got all over that, then it was right, like there was no pre-planning for anything. So that's
Yeah.
why, like, I'm just literally finished ladies' night and cleaning up, like getting all that, and now it's fall
So
festival.
Sherry, I personally have some ideas for Christmas in the village, but I don't think we should talk about
Yeah,
it
no,
here.
that's fine.
I would
Yeah,
I'd like to see a meeting called for that committee
Mhm.
sooner than later. Like, let's start with a shout out to everyone.
Yeah.
We've got these two events coming up. We're forming committees for each. Let's have a meeting and then we'll designate further dates for
Yeah.
each of the two events.
Mhm.
And then we can brainstorm and say, oh, how about this, how about that? And then we come back and,
Yeah,
okay. Does that
so by
sound-
our next week meeting, we should have some more definite, like, for sure, for our September meeting, we'll have, well, we have to for September, because we're gonna have to get everything okay to move
Yeah,
forward for September.
But I think that Christmas in the Village needs a lot of work, and that we need to get everybody, this is probably, Christmas is the biggest season for all retailers, obviously.
Yeah,
And so it would be great to have discussions like in the
Yeah, no, I
month of
agree.
August
yeah,
about Christmas in the village, get some people interested
Yeah,
in talking about it, and then, okay. And I'll attend that meeting.
okay, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get a couple committees going
Yeah.
for each of them and
Okay. So Sarah, you've made some notes on that item?
Yeah.
All right. So BIA breakfast. This is something that Sherry asked to be on the agenda. And notice we have a GL line for it. We have a budget of $300 and it's just sitting there. And this is an opportunity to bring our membership together and get to know one another. I think it's probably high time we do that again.
yeah.
In the past, it's been more than once per year, but probably this year, if we get one in, that will be enough. And that we should do this prior to the AGM.
I think October, because, you know, and then we can go over, if we could figure out a day with the Legion, because they normally do it at the Legion, right, in the mornings? Is that still a place that we
The
should?
Legion would be happy to.
Yeah. And then, and do it and pick a date in October, find out, can we get some dates for September? I can look at the Legion and ask them what their availability is and make a confirmed date in September at our September.
I'm going to take the BIA breakfast away from you only because I'm offering to do that.
Okay,
So
perfect,
that
yeah,
you can concentrate on those other events.
Okay.
This is more of a membership thing as
Yeah.
opposed to an event thing.
okay,
Because
yeah,
we, although I think in the past, non-members may have attended the breakfast. But
Through your chair,
Yes.
it just to provide some background on that. It was something that was a few committees ago that they started, and it was actually community outreach was the intent, was that they would invite just members of
Everyone.
the community
yes,
to get to know the BIA, members of the BIA.
yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't a membership thing. It was actually a
It was
community
open
outreach.
to the community. Yeah.
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
talked about because I think it'd be good, we have our BIA bucks, it's nice to get everybody in one place. You know, I send out emails, I even drop things off, I print them off on my printer and go and drop
Yeah.
them off just to make sure, if you didn't see the email, here's this, but it's a nice way that we could update them on our
Okay,
associate
so-
membership, on our BIA bucks, on events that is going on, so.
So my primary purpose for this would be to unite our membership, but absolutely
Yeah.
let the,
Have it be an information.
yeah, so
Yeah.
depending on, if you
Yeah,
want to.
it's an opportunity for you to reach out to the community to make people aware of who you are.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe in that respect, you consider it to be a BIA event that the event coordinator would coordinate.
yeah, but yeah, if, again, if you, because you have contact with the Legion.
Well,
you
I'm
can reach out.
What I'm concerned with right now is membership
Mhm,
and engaging our membership.
yeah,
And so as chair, I think, well, maybe that should be my responsibility,
yeah,
since we don't have a membership head here.
yeah,
So I'm offering to do that. If you want to, that's fine, but I think you're overtaxed as it is. I think you've got this treasury and 4 events. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah, no problem. I just.
although I appreciate that you brought it as something that we should be talking about. And
Yeah.
I think that we should be talking about. Does anyone have an issue with doing this again?
As long as you have the capacity to do.
And just for clarification, so would it become more of a membership event, or would it be a community outreach event?
Well,
Like,
right,
if you're trying to engage your members, would you,
keep it to the membership this time around, do you mean, as opposed to?
yeah, so you could, we can always reach out to PCAD to see if they have any small business advisors that could come and do a presentation. But I think you just have to, in the past, it's been community outreach.
Yeah,
If you want to shift it to a membership event, like an education opportunity, we certainly, as a township representative, I can certainly try and connect you with speakers.
my primary purpose would be to get our members to know what
Yeah.
our BIA is.
Yeah.
So although I would like to see it involve the general public, maybe for this first one, it need not be.
Yeah, just have, try to get our members, like, I know from summer to ladies night, I had like 17 members contributed out of our members in one way or another through sponsorship, the bags,
Yeah.
or, so I've been, like, you know, I've been going out and
Sherry has engaged a lot of our members
Yeah.
through the events.
Oh, I know.
And so now let's get them all together
Yeah.
and we'll say
In one
what we've
place
done. We
and-
can talk about the BIA bucks. We can talk about the associate member, anything anyone wants to know.
Get
And-
feedback on the events.
And
Yeah,
get
feedback,
feedback on the events, absolutely. So, and if we have a newsletter by that time, which I would like to, you know, we can
Mhm.
hand it out.
yeah,
So maybe we don't really need at this point to have an education piece from PCAD or from the OBIAA, which I would like to see in the future. But maybe we plan on that next year. But for right now, let's just get we've got new members, we've had members leave, we've got new members in. We need to,
Like a member meet and greet.
yeah,
it's a member,
Yeah.
it's more of a member. meet and greet,
information,
Yeah.
let everybody know, everybody, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a question of expense too. We have $300. If we, in the past, it was, if you wanted to throw some money in the bucket for your breakfast, then that went against, we took that in
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
pay for,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
very loosey-goosey. And so
Mhm.
if you invite the public, they might not pay and they just came for some breakfast
Yeah.
and they might start asking questions about our BIA when we're trying to just find out who we are. So maybe we don't invite the public this time.
Yeah.
Not that I would like to see that happen, but I don't think at this point that's the main
Yeah.
priority. Okay. So as for date, what does seem reasonable to I will go to the Legion and is there does anybody object to it being at the Legion?
no,
Okay. And time of day?
I think
day
it'd
of
be in the
week?
morning though, like the morning.
Breakfast suggests morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Unless you're a teenager.
yeah, but
That's true. That is early afternoon, right before
Saturday morning.
8, yeah, I don't think we want to do it on a weekend.
no, yeah, in the
I
morning,
think we want to do it on a weekday and we
Before
probably,
people open up their stores.
yeah, like
So,
the morning, yeah.
I
so,
think it was actually
8:30.
7:30.
Oh, no, really that early?
But if we did 8 to 10, I think that could accommodate most people, right?
So the
I think
same,
most people try and be in their business by 9, so I think.
And if,
that's why-
if it's a Monday or Tuesday, most of the downtown people are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, I mean.
well, maybe we do it on a Monday.
Yeah,
Unless that's their day off, right? So they're
That
probably-
was the decision last time, right? As
Yeah.
most people, that Monday is their day not traveling for most people.
Yeah.
That's why it was early, so they could attend the breakfast and then.
Go
So-
go to the office. Yeah.
So do we want 7:30 or 8 o'clock? I think 8:10 sounds reasonable.
yeah, I think it could be worked out from, I mean, if they have to leave earlier, at least get the bulk of it in the, like, between 8 and 9, like anything we had to say, and then between 9 and 10, it would just be more,
You can always talk while they're eating.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it actually works better the other way around is you have your social ahead. You come in, you get your breakfast, you sit down, you
yeah,
chit chat, and then we have
information.
some kind of a presentation.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
Madam Chair, you know, probably if you wanted to do that, like if you go from 8 to 9, you don't have a lot of time for people to have their breakfast, have the conversation, have a networking opportunity. My suggestion is that you consider possibly 7:30. I think they were at 7:30 the last time. That gives you an opportunity to have that networking opportunity. But I also think, why don't you go to have the conversation with the Legion and then report on our next meeting, which is September 7th, about what works best for them, timing, and then you can report back to us at that time.
Well,
You've got
that's.
Thanksgiving in October too, so you want to stay away from,
Yes,
you know,
it was-
the merchant's busiest time, even though you know you have it in during the week. I understand that. And I agree that I think they liked having it on a day that they had to go into work at 9. And Bridget can confirm that, but I think they liked having it first thing early in the morning and then they could go into work. But maybe have the conversation with the Legion and then just report back to us on September 7th.
Okay. But general idea is maybe 7:30 to 10 on a weekday, and we're not specifying a weekday, not Monday though.
Okay, yeah, sounds
Okay.
good. Do we
Sorry.
mention that?
7:30 to 10 seems like an awful long time.
Well,
7:30?
I thought it
7:30
was,
30 or
I thought it was
7:30?
7:30 to 9,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Okay, 7:30.
I think it kind of mirrored the Peterborough DBIA, and I think theirs were 7:30 to 9. If I remember correctly, they tried to kind of-
Honestly, I don't remember. It's been a long time.
For sure, yeah,
Yeah.
pre-COVID.
Just for clarification, when I say us, I just meant the board, not necessarily myself as part of that board. Clarification, Deputy Mayor.
But staff attended. Yeah,
Yes.
you and I broke bread together.
Yes, we, yes, we did.
Yeah. And in the past, we've asked the decorating committee to decorate. And I don't know if we want to do that this time. It's nice. I like it and they'd probably be happy to do it.
Mhm.
I'd say set up your BIA breakfast meetings and figure it out.
Okay.
I think we need to do it here.
Could you possibly ask the decorating committee if they would be interested in?
Yeah, so
Yeah, all right.
the last time much budget I have.
Then they're gonna be questioning their money, yeah, I know. But they could probably, it's gonna be fall decor, and so we're looking at an October date. Probably early October. Right?
When's the fall festival?
September 23rd is the fall festival. In October, when is Thanksgiving? Is it the 9th?
It's the second
The
week,
second.
so prior to Thanksgiving and
It
after the fall
does
festival.
Thanksgiving fall on the 2nd or the 9th? Does anybody? 9th, okay. All right. So,
So prior to Thanksgiving and ideally, and after the fall festival,
that's giving you like 2
2
weeks.
weeks. Not on a Monday.
So you've got like the 26th, 27th, if you're Tuesday, Wednesday, or the 3rd, 4th, Tuesday, Wednesday, if those are the kind of days we're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, do we need any kind of motion in this regard? I don't know any.
Well, we'll pick it up. We'll confirm everything at our next meeting.
We're going,
Like, right back next week?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're making a notation, not a motion.
Got it.
Okay. AGM. So, when we do an AGM, we are supposed to present the budget. Our budget can't be done until, we should be working on it, like starting now,
Mhm.
but we can't do that until we
Yeah.
fix up the ledger and get up to date. But so we'll defer this to the next meeting as well. But we will likely be holding the AGM in November.
Is
Then
that when
you
it
did
normally is that normally when it gets, I've never been. so
Normally, yes.
it's November, okay. And do it is it at the community center that will be done at?
Well, it has been at the Legion in the past, and
Okay.
it's been at the community center last year. One thing I'd like to address for the budget on the AGM is that we only have $47 left according to the ledger because we paid last year's AGM expenses on this year's,
Yeah,
yeah. So what do we do about that?
well, we've had quite a few expenses from last year that's turned up that we've had to put into this year's budget.
So does anyone, can Yvette or Bridget or Ryan help us with what to do about that? How do we,
Put money in for AGM because we had expenses from last year. So now it's eaten into our AGM budget for this year.
I think when you talk to finance, like try to get an answer there.
okay,
It may be a situation you have to pull from your
They may,
reserve or whatever.
Yeah.
but they may also be able to just accrue it back for last year.
Yeah,
Maybe not
yeah.
back on.
Yeah, if it's an expense that you incurred in 2022, it should
Yeah.
be captured in the 2022.
Yeah,
If
and
it wasn't-
I did same with, we got one from Brad too, and the majority of it was from last year. The only thing that was on from this year was Summerfest. Everything else was from last year.
So just talk to finance, figure out what's the best way to do it.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
so we have a budget of
AGM 200 and
it
152.
was. I know we only have $47 left.
Yeah,
Not up there, it's down here.
3735, 4750, 3735 is the
Right, so
number.
it's $200 and the intent there is to buy some sandwiches,
Yeah,
right? And so these things can be determined later, but if you could address with finance what to do,
with
that-
those, yeah,
yeah, so that we have $200 back, and then we'll determine the venue.
yeah,
But we need to get the budget going so that, because that's the primary purpose of the AGM is to present the budget.
yeah.
And theoretically, the membership votes on it. Not that we do that, it's,
Well, it has an opportunity to ask questions, right? That's-
yes, yes. So, and when we present the budget, it can't look like this. It's gotta look in a format they can understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we're gonna defer that to, and also, we may or may not have the conversation about levy change at that meeting.
I think we want to just, through your chair, just be firm on what the process is for a levy change.
Exactly, so we can't, I'll be having a meeting with Yvette to further discuss that, and if we need to have a special meeting to address a levy change, then so be it, but it could possibly be that that'll happen at an AGM.
Yeah.
And does anyone want to talk about AGM plans?
we got it. I guess once we can get a date and figure where our budget is, then we
Yeah.
can.
Figure out where the budget is first. Okay. Correspondence, I have none. Adjournment. Sarah said yes.
Yeah,
I will second. And we're at
so she sent me this
10:13,
wood on here,
13 minutes over
but
budget.
I'm looking, wood on this.
Give me one sec, sorry. Okay.